What would you do if you won the lottery? I'm confident that this is a question we've all probably thought about at some point in our lives. A lottery win should be reason to celebrate. Unfortunately, there are times when celebrating can be taken too far. Spoilers coming up on today's recap drama film inspired by true events titled, To Leslie. The girl always seemed to have been happy and upbeat, despite having a childhood and adolescence that were neither unusual nor out of the ordinary. When she became an adult and was unable to control the fun, trouble started. Despite already being a mother, the physical scars and spots around her eyes indicate she did not lead a particularly healthy life. Her struggles with alcohol gradually come to light as a result of the woman's unrestrained drinking and partying. Leslie's winning the largest lottery prize in her town, worth $190,000, marked the best turning point in her life. However, Leslie has lost all of this money due to her lifestyle choices and is currently living in poverty after only 6 years. She has been staying in a residential motel for a few months when she is asked to leave because she has not paid the required rent. Leslie, who has nowhere to stay and no money, gets picked up by random men at bars and manages to get by for a few days, but she eventually ends up on the streets with a bruised eye. She believes that her young son, James, is the only member of her family who would be willing to help her at this time. Her lack of interest towards her family makes it clear that they have not spoken in a long time, and it has been 6 years since their last encounter. James only requests 2 things from his mother as she moves in with him in his rented shared apartment. She should stop drinking while she is there and start looking for a job to live her own life since she won't be staying at his apartment forever. Although she promises to comply with both of these demands, her current struggles are completely out of her control. She can't stop drinking for long, so she ends up robbing her son's roommate of money, and she also seems to be sleeping around with the neighbors to make some extra money. James reports his mother to the police and has her removed from his apartment after he senses the trouble he had feared. She is now left with no choice but to go back to the small rural town she left about 6 years ago. She initially stays put at the home of Dutch and Nancy, 2 people who were once very close to her. Obviously, everyone thinks Leslie is a loser and a wastrel, and she is the target of more jokes than genuine worries. But Nancy no longer wants to be associated with her and is not welcome to stay at her home and is only waiting for a chance to evict her. She is instructed not to drink in this home as well, which may seem obvious to say to an alcoholic, but she breaks the rule again and is locked out in the middle of the night when she visits the local bar and is spotted by Pete. Once more she is without a place to stay. Her only companion is a pink suitcase filled with her possessions. At dawn, Sweeney, one of the owners, discovers Leslie sleeping outside next to the motel. She complies with his request to leave and departs, leaving her suitcase behind. Later, she returns to the motel to look for her luggage. The kind Sweeney offers her a job to clean rooms in exchange for a small wage and a place to stay. Although shocked and delighted by this offer, Royal, who helps run the motel with Sweeney, is cold towards her since he knows her story like everyone else in town. Once she starts, she doesn't take her new job very seriously and never stops asking for money in advance, staying up late, and generally slacking off while blowing through her entire paycheck on alcohol. Leslie enters a private property that used to be her home one night after having a few drinks at the neighborhood bar. She enters the home despite the fact that it is occupied by a family and sobs as she recalls the time she would spend there with young James. She is politely asked to leave by the new owner of the house, but when she refuses, he calls Sweeney and requests that he pick her up. Her lack of dedication frustrates Sweeney, who initially plans to fire her, but he changes his mind after hearing her promise to do better. Leslie, who has no other options, makes an effort to concentrate on her job while struggling with alcohol withdrawal. The two become friends after Sweeney tells her about his ex-wife, who used to go on drinking sprees and then completely lack self-control and accountability. Their separation was caused by his inability to deal with this. As they bond over this experience, he acknowledges that instead of being harsh with the woman, he could have been more forgiving. Since he always pays attention to his expressions and behavior when around Leslie, he treats her almost like a second chance. He takes this second chance in the most sensitive and appreciative way possible. In the end, It is his faith in her that gives her a stable foundation on which to build her life. Sweeney visits his daughters at a local fair while Leslie goes with him. While there, Leslie gets into a fight with Nancy, telling her despite knowing that her return was unlikely, she had to endure the heartbreaking experience of telling James that his mother had not abandoned him and that she would return to him. Because of this, she will never be able to forgive her. She quits her job and departs the motel following an argument with Sweeney, during which he spills the harsh reality that only Leslie is to blame for her present state of life. Leslie appears to have broken her sobriety and is about to start drinking again when she enters a bar, but she stops herself just in time. In the meantime, Sweeney looks for Leslie and discovers the bar, but finds she has already left. She squats in an abandoned ice cream shop across the street from the motel and watches as Sweeney returns. In the morning, she awakens Sweeney and tells him she wants to fix up the ice cream shop. With Sweeney's assistance, she makes the decision to convert the space into a diner and launch her own business. At this time, the man professes his love for her, and 10 months later, Leslie starts her own diner. Having been eager to serve customers, she is disappointed to see that no one shows up and suspects that perhaps Nancy has turned off the entire town from her. When they were about to close for the day, Nancy finally shows up in the evening. Leslie confronts her and Nancy calmly explains why she is angry with Leslie, not being mean like before. The film ends on the sweetest note possible, as Nancy is aware of Leslie's efforts to improve her life and create something positive on her own, and she is grateful for these efforts. Because Nancy knew this was what Leslie would want most, she brings James to his mother at the beginning of this new chapter in her life. In the end, Leslie has definitely triumphed because she is able to gain everyone's respect and provides hope for the future. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.